Hello, my friends. It's Matthew Street. Welcome to my channel. As always, I truly appreciate you being here. And folks, sorry, no Power Pop today. No Beatles today. Folks, I've got the blues. That's right. I did a video recently where I talked about 10 albums that I thought were perfect albums. And I had an album in that set in my last video or so where it was a blues album. And then I got a couple of comments from my viewers saying, wow, Matt, so cool to hear that you're into the blues. You like the blues along with power pop, rock and roll, other genres. And I said, you know, they're right. I don't think I've ever really talked about my love for the blues. And as I said in the last video, I'm no blues aficionado. I don't have everything, and I certainly am not a completist. But yeah, there's been an arc in my love of the blues since I was a young music fan. And obviously it all started way back, you know, as a young kid. I didn't know anything about the blues or the blues greats or what. I didn't know what it all meant. But, you know, speaking of what, talking about the blues, this is not appropriate. So, you know what? Dun 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 dun. Shh, doo 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 doo. Shh, bum bum. Doo da dee dee doo. Bum boo boo. Dee 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 dee. Boom. Bum, bum. When I was a young boy, I didn't know anything about the blues. And now that I'm older, well, I surely do. I was born in the old days. Okay, that's enough. Sorry, folks. Okay, this is more appropriate for what we're doing today. So, my introduction to the blues was way back. I mean, not long after I became a music fan and started collecting music. It would have to be with artists like the Yardbirds, obviously, the Stones. Early Kinks were blues influenced. Later on, I got into like Texas blues or Southern blues like Marshall Tucker. Obviously, the Allman Brothers, stuff like this. John Mayall and the Blues Breakers with Eric Clapton. Obviously got into that. Cream. I also remember being Eric Clapton himself, solo. I also remember getting an album in the late 70s called The Blues Brothers. Remember that one? With John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. And I thought that was some pretty cool blues. Yeah, I had no idea. And then obviously I got into artists like Stevie Ray Vaughan. I mean, I love him. He's more modern. He came a little later for me. But I really love his stuff, and I've got, like, tons of stuff by Stevie Ray here. I'm not going to show them all. But a lot of Stevie Ray Vaughan. Another one of the earliest blues guys I got into was George Thorogood. Okay, I got, you know, quite a bit of George Thorogood here on vinyl, which I love very, very much. He was way back for me. I mean, he goes back to some of his earliest albums where I was into George Thorogood. I mean, this one's got a little damage on it, but I love that one. And here's another George Thorogood. I mean, loved his stuff. And then I remember it was like the early 90s where a turning point happened for me. I did have, you know, quite a bit of blues, I thought. And then I remember seeing a movie called Shout. Do you remember this movie? This is the soundtrack. And on this, there's some great bluesy songs. You got a song by Otis Rush on here, Elmore James. And that really, not that I was blind to it, but it finally revealed itself to me like, I need to do more exploring. I need to get into more of the blues and the old-time blues and stuff. So this album, even though I had blues before and I was into the blues, this album really said, no, I really want to collect some more. Oh, this was kind of like, I got to get into more Otis Rush. I got to get into some Elmore James and stuff. And that's what I did. So, folks, I'm just going to show you real quick. I don't have a lot of vinyl here. I got quite a few CDs. Show you really quick some of the blues that I love and that I have. Is it complete? Absolutely not. It's not. But for me, I'm happy with my little blues collection. And to this day, I still collect the blues. So when one comes my way that I'm interested in, or I find it out in the wild, or I hear it, I hear a song, and I go, oh, I got to get that one. I do still get the blues. One of the nice sets I got way back was from Rhino. It's called Electric Blues Volume 1 and Electric Blues Volume 2. I don't know if you've ever seen these CDs, but they're absolutely fantastic. These were two CDs I got way early on when they like first came out. And they got a lot of, I don't know how good it's going to translate, folks, but a lot of great blues classics are on these two CDs from Rhino. And I enjoy them to this day. I think I burned a copy of this so I wouldn't have to wreck my originals. And I listen to those often, okay? I don't know if he's really considered blues, but I have a couple of vinyl albums by him, but I do have a CD by Ray Charles, you know, kind of bluesy. Definitely a little later on, I got into guys like Johnny Winter. Love my Johnny Winter stuff. Okay, that over here. Gary Moore. I love Gary Moore. Here's one of my favorites by Gary Moore. Joe Bonamassa, kind of a modern bluesy guy. Blues Deluxe, and then I got You and Me later on. So I do love me some Joe Bonamassa. Saw him live several years back. He was great. And I got Jimmy Reed, Greatest Hits, which I enjoy very, very much. And got to have a little Bo Diddley. I have some vinyl Bo Diddley, but I figured I'd just show you this for now. Some Bo Diddley. Love that. I had to get one of the earliest greats, so I do have some Robert Johnson. Great, great stuff. This is an outstanding CD or album, whatever you want to call it. Muddy Waters. I have this one, Folk Singer, which is excellent, excellent, excellent. I have this one here. There's a I'm Ready. Great album. And one I really love, I have on vinyl, not on CD, but Hard Again, Muddy Waters. Great, great, great stuff. I'm just curious how many of you have some of these, whether you like them or not. What do you think? Let's see. How about the Queen of the Blues? I have a Coco Taylor vinyl, which is really good. How many of you know of Coco? All right. I would consider this, yeah, James Cotton Band. 100% cotton. Just like my underwear. TMI. Got me some, what do I want to show you next? Let's go to the Kings. I got some Freddie King. Love this Freddie King CD. It's great, great, great stuff. Let's see. Obviously, I'm into B.B. King. I showed you in that video my B.B. King live at the Regal. Well, I also have it on CD, which I've taken the car with me all the time. B.B. King, Blues on the Bayou. Great, one of his later albums. Fantastic. Blues on the Bayou by B.B. Of course, you have to have the other King, Albert King. This is a classic, classic, classic blues album. And I love Otis Rush, too. I have a nice Otis Rush CD. All right, it's called Lost Blues. Highly recommend this one, folks. He's on fire on this. One of his later albums, but it's fantastic. So just a sampling here. One of my favorites of all time, and I want to show you, is Buddy Guy. I got a lot of Buddy Guy because I just love Buddy. All right, just real quick show you my Buddy CDs. Don't have everything by him, but I'm trying. I'm getting stuff as I come across it. This is a great one. You got Buddy Guy and Junior Wells, Alone and Acoustic. Whoa, get this one. You'll love it. Great, great pairing up of those two guys. Rhythm and Blues, one of his more recent ones, double CD. Buddy Guy. Yep, that's Buddy Guy I love right there. Early Buddy Guy. And then I have one of his fairly recent ones called Living Proof. I'm 74 years young. All right. And the cool thing about this is I've seen Buddy live many times. First time I saw him was way back. He was with B.B. King and some other blues guys, and that was a great show. But I've seen Buddy solo numerous times, and wow, I can't believe it's been 10 years, over 10 years now. But back in 2012, I got to meet Buddy Guy, 2012, for this tour, when he was doing the Living Proof tour, 74 years young. Wow, he's 84, 85 now. But he toured this incessantly on this album. It's a great album. And got to meet him after a show. Had a copy of this, and Buddy signed it. Buddy Guy 2012. So proud and happy to have that from Buddy, which I hang proudly in my, display it in my music room. So that's it, folks. I just went through some quick blues with you. I think I covered everything, but I thought it was kind of cool that a few of my viewers were very pleased to hear that I like the blues as well as power pop, the Beatles, rock and roll. I said, yeah, you know what? I do love the blues, and I may not be an expert on them like some people, but I love them, and I love listening to them on a very regular basis. And I thought it'd be nice to share some of my favorites with you. So let me know what you think. Are you fellow power poppers and Beatle fans? Are you into the blues like Matt Street is? I'd love to hear some of your favorites. Maybe you can give me some recommendations, and I'll, if I don't have it, I'll run out and check it out. That's it, folks. Just want to say hi and say, ba 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 ba. It's really good to be here. Ba 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 ba. To be with my friends. Boom, 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 boom. I'm so happy today is here. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, it will never end. Boom, 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 boom. Sorry. Bye-bye.